On the heels of the Pfizer vaccine rollout, Moderna's vaccine making its arrival in San Diego. Which local facilities are getting the new vaccine and what comes next? Concerns being raised about a new variation of the coronavirus that's cropping up in England. What scientists are saying about whether it could impact the vaccine's effectiveness. And the latest on that relief bill that passed over the weekend and how it will directly impact Americans. ABC 10 News at 11 starts right now.
ABC 10 News at 11 starts now.
Great to have you with us this midday, and we are expecting to get a look out of Wilmington, Delaware, where in just a few moments, President-elect Joe Biden and incoming First Lady, Dr. Joe Biden, are going to be publicly getting vaccinated for the coronavirus. Also expecting some remarks from Joe Biden. As soon as all that begins, we will take you out there live. The vaccine rollout continues in San Diego. Later today, the first nursing home patient in the county expected to be vaccinated. That as local healthcare workers continue to get shots and as the second COVID-19 vaccine made by Moderna makes its way to San Diego. ABC 10 News reporter Marie Cornell showing us where it will be going.
There are two hospitals in San Diego County that are expecting shipments of the COVID-19 vaccine produced by Moderna. Hospital officials say the first shipment will likely arrive here at Rady Children's Hospital sometime today. As boxes filled with vaccines made by Moderna were packed up and shipped across the country, hospitals in our area have also been preparing to receive them. It's expected Rady Children's Hospital will receive theirs first. They can't say for sure how many they'll be getting. Officials at UC San Diego say they're also scheduled to receive their Moderna shipment this week. Governor Gavin Newsom tweeted this over the weekend, saying California is expecting 672,000 doses of the Moderna vaccine. It's still unclear how many of those will be given to San Diego. By the end of the week, now having two vaccines, the federal government expects there will be 7.9 million doses delivered to more than 3,700 locations across the country. Perhaps making things a little simpler this week, the fact that Moderna's vaccine can be kept in a regular freezer rather than the specialized units required for Pfizer's. This comes as the CDC rolls out a new recommendation about who should get the vaccine next. They say frontline essential workers and adults ages 75 and older should be the priority in the next round. And they describe essential workers as firefighters and police, teachers and school staff, and those working in food and agricultural sectors, as well as U.S. Postal Service employees, public transit workers, and grocery store workers. They say they're considered high risk because their jobs are critical and they are in regular contact with other people. The county has not said if this will have any impact on their vaccine rollout plan. Marie Cornell, ABC 10 News.
And this week, CVS is going to start lending a hand to the vaccine rollout, administering the doses at long-term care facilities across the country. They're going to start doing that in California next week. Both CVS and Walgreens have partnerships with the government to help administer the vaccine to the public in the months ahead. Rollout of the Moderna and Pfizer vaccines giving the world hope, but there's also concern about the impact of a new variant of the virus that could and what it could have on the ability to vaccinate. ABC 10 News reporter Vanessa Paz spoke with an infectious disease expert who's offering cautious optimism.
We've been waiting all year for a new year, but word of a new COVID strain spreading rapidly in the UK can't help but raise the question, could 2021 be a repeat of 2020? As San Diego hospitals begin receiving Moderna vaccines, new concerns are surfacing overseas in the UK. A new COVID variant is reportedly infecting people rapidly and maybe 70% more contagious than COVID-19. But the good news,
it doesn't seem to be any more difficult to neutralize and should be responsive to the vaccines that we're using.
Dr. Robert Shuley is an infectious disease specialist at the University of San Diego.
Now, the one caveat is that if this virus accelerates the epidemic and there are more people infected around you, your chance of getting infected will be greater with the new strain than the older strains. And so the vaccine will have to work harder and we'll have to get more people vaccinated to have the same level of population protection.
The new variant reportedly caused over 60% of infections in London this month alone. And even though there's no evidence it's deadlier than COVID-19, many European countries aren't taking any chances, canceling inbound flights from Britain and France, even banning British trucks from entering the country. And while the U.S. has yet to announce any travel bans involving the U.K. specifically, Dr. Robert Schuley said that travel restrictions would benefit in any case surrounding a global pandemic. Reporting from home this morning, Vanessa Paz, ABC 10 News.
Local leaders renewing their calls for San Diegans to stay in and avoid travel this holiday season. Nancy Maldonado with the Chicano Federation says the percentage of Latino San Diegans testing positive for COVID-19 is disproportionately high.
We also are very family oriented, and we do, traditionally we gather during the holidays, and so really sending the message that this holiday season, it has to look different. It's great to feel hopeful, but it's not okay to let your guard down, not yet.
Latinos make up 60% of positive cases in San Diego. Maldonado continues to urge Latinos and everyone this holiday to stay home, stay safe, and get tested. While some are heeding the warning to avoid travel, not everyone is deterred. There were several travelers at San Diego International Airport Sunday. Overall, AAA reports that more than 84 million Americans are expected to travel. That's about a 30% decrease compared to last year. As for air travel, that's expected to be down by nearly 60%, the lowest volume since 2009. Wednesday is supposed to be one of the bigger travel days. San Diego expecting more than 20,000 passengers to come and go through the airport. Up to 81 million people could travel by car across the country. Well, Congress set to vote on that $900 billion stimulus package after a deal was struck over the weekend. The package set to include more help for small businesses and the unemployed. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze has more on what exactly that bill includes.
After months of stalemate on Capitol Hill, economic relief is finally in sight for millions of Americans.
More help is on the way.
Lawmakers striking an 11th hour $900 billion COVID relief deal, tying the plan to a larger spending bill that will avoid a government shutdown. The agreement includes direct checks for qualifying Americans of up to $600, a $300 boost in weekly federal unemployment benefits through March, roughly $300 billion in aid to small businesses, and billions more for vaccine distribution and schools.
This agreement is far from perfect, but it will deliver emergency relief to a nation in the throes of a genuine emergency.
If the bill passes as expected, Americans should start receiving stimulus checks in January, while the Treasury Secretary says they could come as soon as next week. For single mom Renee DiCarlo, who was forced to close her business, help can't come soon enough.
Every dollar matters to me. The more they give me, the more ability I'll have to get my life back in order, a little bit at a time, because right now there isn't enough to support myself or my kids.
As coronavirus cases continue to climb, forcing more business closures and layoffs, some economists fear the help could be too little, too late. Democrats, who had initially demanded trillions more in aid, are calling the deal a down payment.
We consider this a first step, and that, again, more needs to be done.
President Trump is expected to sign the bill into law once it passes, and President-elect Biden applauded the deal, but said Congress's work is far from over. Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, Washington.
This morning, outgoing U.S. Attorney General William Barr touching on a number of topics in his final press conference and breaking, with the White House on multiple issues. Among them, Barr addressing calls for a special counsel probe into the president-elect's son, Hunter Biden, over alleged business deals abroad. Barr saying that he doesn't see cause for a deeper investigation.
To this point, I have not seen a reason to appoint a special counsel, and I have no plan to do so before I leave.
Barr also blaming Russian hackers for recent cyber attacks on U.S. agencies, something the president recently downplayed. And we'll have more on that at 11:30. Barr now set to resign before the end of the president's term.